Hiya folks, Sandro here with more cartoon news and shenanigans. And if you'd like more cartoon news and shenanigans, I'd ask you to please subscribe to my channel. In fact, do it right now so you don't forget about it later. And I thank you very much for that, guys. So today, I am going to be doing a quick fire review of Rick and Morty's Season 5, Episode 1 premiere. Right? So it just came out, Season 5, Episode 1. And before I get to that review, it's a very quick review. Some of you guys are going to like what I have to say on it, but we're going to get there. I found this article while I was live streaming on Tuesday. As you guys know, I usually do my live streams on Tuesday now. So cnet.com, right? We got an article by Richard Trenholm, and it basically talked about how you can actually just watch Rick and Morty season 5, episode 1. If you live in America, you have to live in America. I live in Canada, so I'm not allowed to watch this. But if you had a VPN, and that would be fantastic. It's too bad like a VPN couldn't sponsor this episode. I always see people do this where they're like, hey, if you had a VPN, you could watch this. If you actually have a VPN, you could just switch this to America and literally watch the first episode of Rick and Morty season 5 for free on YouTube, for free. No subscriptions. Look at this. No, without a subscription. So that's pretty cool. I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. If you wanted to watch this episode, I'm going to leave the link to this in the description down below. Use your VPN and try and change it to America and see if you could watch it for free if you haven't seen it yet. So yeah, without further ado, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Let me go type in Rick and Morty season 5. I'll just type it in and let's get some images in the background just so I could talk about something. Episode 1. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah. So this episode was interesting. Did I think it was as good as some of the other season 1 starters or opening episodes? I think this one is okay. I think some of the earlier seasons definitely had better ones than this one, but this was still a good one. But overall, did I like the episode? That's the main question you guys are probably here for. The answer is no, actually. You'd be surprised to hear that. I didn't like the episode. And I'm going to talk about, okay, I liked a lot of the things in the episode, but I didn't like what this set up here. Okay. So I'll talk about it, right? So this episode features Rick's nemesis. So Morty's crashing down. You know, Rick and Morty are on some planet. They're getting chased by the monster. Was it the monster that was in the opening from like previous seasons or something? So they're getting chased, and this is the beginning of the episode. By the way, spoilers, obviously. Did I say that? Did I say spoilers? Yeah, spoilers. So Rick and Morty are getting chased in this exact UFO right here. This one right here. And Morty, you can actually see him on the phone right there. He calls up Jessica. He thinks he's going to die. Rick's injured. They were on some kind of weird like adventure. And he calls Jessica, right? This is Jessica right here. And Jessica is like, Morty tells her, I always liked you and stuff. I'd like to go watch a movie with you. And Jessica's like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So, Morty got really, really excited, but there was a caveat because they lived, right? So like Morty was confessing this to Jessica thinking he was going to die, but then he lives. They somehow miraculously land in the ocean and they survive. And so now he gets to go on a date with Jessica just to watch a movie at his house. And but Morty touches the water. And apparently there was some kind of like treaty between Rick and Mr. Nimbus, the new character. I actually like him. He's now a fan favorite character of mine. I really enjoyed Mr. Nimbus. I gotta say, he's a funny character. I would not be mad to see more Mr. Nimbus. He kind of he feels like the new Bird guy, You guys remember Bird guy from the earlier seasons, so he's like the new Bird guy kind of, I feel like. he's kind of like a frenemy of Rick, but apparently they're nemesi. Yeah, they're each other's nemesis. Apparently, this is Rick's nemesis. He has the ability to control police for some reason. I don't know why, but he just has that ability. He also gains his powers from a magical conch shell, which Summer goes and steals. So that's her plot for the episode. Rick's main goal in this like episode is to make dinner for Mr. Nimbus to smooth things over because Morty touched the water and apparently there was some kind of treaty where they wouldn't touch the water and whatever. And Rick is like making amends with Mr. Nimbus and and yeah. So you can actually see the Mr. Nimbus there talking to Rick. Rick's having none of this. They're kind of like nemesis. Rick doesn't respect him as much, but But anyways, yeah, so that's them. Oh, as for Jerry and Beth, right? So I talked about like Morty's going on a date with oh my god, what was her name? Jennifer, right? It's Jennifer, right? Wait, what's her name? It's Jennifer? Yeah, Jennifer, right? Oh my god. Rick and Morty, Jennifer. Yeah, it's got to be Jennifer, right? Yes, it is. Okay. Just making sure. I lost my train of thought. I'm like, wait a minute. Is her name Jennifer? Yeah, it is. Okay. Anyways. So, for whatever reason, Beth and Jerry, this episode, I kind of actually liked it because they're a couple again. They kind of like put them back to being a couple. I like that. They're not doing anything too stupid and out of the norm. They're just like a regular family. I kind of liked it. It kind of sucked because for a lot of Rick and Morty, like from season like 2, 3, 4, Beth and Jerry always just had like relationship. Like they were always doing something with their relationship here and there. In this one, they're watching porn. That's the whole joke. They're watching porn. They're talking about having a three-way with Mr. Nimbus, and they actually do that at the end of the episode. You have to watch after the credits to see that, of course. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you already watched the episode, and so that's safe to spoil. But yeah, some of you might have missed that. But yes, after the credits roll, Mr. Nimbus and Jerry, Beth, and Mr. Nimbus do have a three-way. So yeah. So there's that, and then the big plot is that, so this is cool because it's like they make out a plot out of something that like really was not, you would never think would be a plot for some reason, but basically it works like Narnia. It's basically like Narnia. They even make a reference to Narnia. They even literally say it's like Narnia. So Rick wants to get Mr. Nimbus this special kind of like aged wine. And so what he does is he leaves it in this place, and he leaves it in this like other like medieval like peasant dimension to let it age. So he closes the door, he opens it, and a lot of time has passed inside of that world. It's much like Narnia, right? So like in the Chronicles of Narnia, I actually own the whole box set of books, by the way. They would go through the wardrobe and they would live an entire like 40 years and they would come back and only like a couple minutes have actually passed in real life or on Earth, right? So on Earth, barely any time passed. Meanwhile, like 40 years happened in Narnia. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's basically what happens here. We see like so Morty goes and gets the wine. Jessica and him have a kiss. Jessica's like, hey, we should have some wine. So Morty asks Rick if he can have some, or I guess he just goes and gets some anyway, without Rick knowing about it. And he goes in the portal and there's like a farmer. And this was really cool. Right? So the farmer kind of like, he comes into Rick and Morty's place, and while he was there, so much time passed that his son was born. The farmer creature. Where are those creatures? Do we have any pictures of them? Yeah, these things, right? So these dog creatures, whatever, these miscolored dogs, he basically, Morty, brings the farmer into the Earth. And because they were there on Earth for a couple seconds, he goes back. He finds his wife has died because so much time has passed. He finds his son has been born. His son, kills the farmer, for abandoning them. And then he swears revenge against Morty. And it's really cool because there's this entire plot, this really cool plot, where it's like every time Morty goes and gets some wine, years have passed and we see it go from like peasants, it's just like a quiet farm town. Then they, it escalates where they're like, hey, every time Morty shows up, something goes wrong and he kills them. And so they basically like worship Morty as a god, and they invent magic, and then it's crazy. They invent like magic, and there's like medieval times, and they build a castle, and then the castle gets destroyed. And then we see like technology advances, and then they become like super, super like technological beings and like robots and stuff. And it's pretty crazy, right? It's pretty crazy. But here's what happens. At some point, basically, not Mr. Nimbus. Basically, this is why I don't like it. I said I didn't like it, but it's a very like 5 out of 10 episode for me personally. Just me. You guys, if you love this episode, hey, I'm not going to take that away from you. But I just didn't like what they did with Jessica. I really didn't like that. I wanted to see Morty, because these characters are based off of like Back to the Future, right? So Morty is like Marty McFly from Back to the Future. Rick is supposed to be Dr. Emmett Brown, right? From Back to the Future. And Jennifer is supposed to be, was her name Jennifer? Back to the Future. Jennifer, it was Jennifer, that's right. Jennifer Parker. So this is, that's Jennifer, right? That's Jennifer. Jennifer is basically, and in the movies, in Back to the Future, Jennifer ends up with Marty McFly. And they keep pushing it. They keep, they keep teasing that, like, I would really like to see like Morty actually going on adventures with Jennifer. I'd like to see it. I like to see them become boyfriend and girlfriend. And this is where it just loses all. The episode just lost everything for me. I was getting excited. I'm like, okay, are they going to bring Jennifer into the fold for the rest of this season? Maybe going forward, we have a new member of the household, right? Like, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, is this where they're going to bring Jennifer in? Are we going to see her go on wacky adventures? I'd love to see it. Because that's what they did in Back to the Future. Back to the Future Part 2. Okay. To be fair, they kind of knock out Jennifer, right? But she has a role in the story. Whereas here, she's kind of like a side character. And I just wanted her to, like, I wanted them to become a couple so we could actually get, like, adventures with her. Like, I want to see Morty. They've just been teasing this whole thing. Morty, just do something with it. And they just didn't do anything with it. They really didn't do anything with it, guys. So what ends up happening is Jennifer gets captured, or she gets caught in, she gets captured by this mechanical claw, and then they have to go save her in the realm over there. And basically, yeah. So she basically spent an entire eternity in that place. And yeah, it was kind of weird. So she basically was put in this giant gemstone to watch civilization evolve. You could kind of see it like here, right? This is the technological place. Jennifer was like, yeah, there's Jennifer. Like, she got captured there. So she had to watch like hundreds of years possibly of evolution. And she was frozen in stasis. And so Mr. Nimbus ends up saving the day. Rick gets all of his like gadgets pulled from his body. They have like, these dogs from the future. They have like super high tech stuff. And Mr. Nimbus uses his special magical power of controlling police. And yeah. So Mr. Nimbus saves the day. There's, him and Rick. I feel like Mr. Nimbus is just he's a reoccurring character from now on. He's going to be back, Mr. Nimbus. He seems like a classic already. But yeah, I just really, Jennifer brought the whole episode down. I really just wanted to see Jennifer do something more. I wanted to see like Morty like evolve as a character and, just like do something there. Oh, one other thing. Mr. Nimbus name drops Diana, who is Rick's wife, I guess, or like Beth's mother. They name drop that, and Rick's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Is this supposed to be like a flashback dramatical moment right now, you piece of shit?" So that was hilarious. I did love that. But man, Jennifer just like I was really disappointed because then at the end of the episode, Jennifer's like, "We always miss our timing," and they just go their separate ways. She just goes. That's it. She had time to like, view civilization. She becomes like very intelligent, I guess. And I don't know, man. I just didn't like what they did with Jennifer. If they had made it so like they were boyfriend and girlfriend now, and she was going to start going on adventures, and I would have loved that. I would have loved to see that. We just don't see this like family dynamic anymore. I don't know what's going on. We don't see the family dynamic like we used to. And I thought it would be really cool to, just have Morty and why not, right? Morty and what's her name? Jennifer, as a couple finally after all this time. And, they just didn't do that. So more, nothing, I guess maybe Morty will find a new girl. I don't know. But I don't know. The problem with a lot of cartoons nowadays is that they always show the relationships at the end, right? And it doesn't matter if they're woke or not, right? It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. Most shows nowadays, the girlfriend and boyfriend thing always happens at the end. Like, right? Like, let's just list some shows here. Legend of Korra, last episode, Asami and Korra. Steven Universe, towards the end, you see Connie and Steven. What other ones? What's it called? Adventure Time, Marceline and Bubblegum towards the end. Then they did an Obsidian. So basically you have to watch the entirety of Adventure Time just to get like one special with Marceline and Bubblegum. So that relationship there, you guys know, it's like, I think that a lot of these relationships I'm talking about are like very woke. But I'm just trying to list some cartoons that, a lot of the times the characters become boyfriend and girlfriend. Look, Star versus the Forces of Evil, Marco and Star, last episode, right? They get together. So it's like Rick, Morty and Jennifer, having them get together in this episode would have been cool instead of them getting together in the last episode before the show gets canceled, it'd just be a lot better to just have it. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. We just don't see it anymore. We don't see these relationships. Like, we only get to see them for like 5 minutes towards the end, and that's it. For a lot of these shows in the modern day. And I don't know, man. I'm just, even Invincible, right? I just watched Invincible, and like it's like Amber, and we barely get to see like any of that relationship, even though I really don't like Amber, by the way. A lot of these like shows that I'm watching, the relationships, you never see them. You just never see them until the last episode. And this is why I give this episode a 5 out of 10, because Jennifer could have been great and they threw her aside, and they're not giving Morty a relationship. I don't know. Maybe some people are going to be like, no, Morty doesn't need a relationship. I thought even if they did it for one season, it would have been a great shakeup. Just a great shakeup. I don't know. You guys let me know. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with what I said here? Some people probably give this episode like a 10 out of 10. I think that a lot of it was really, like I said, a lot of this episode was really good, but Jennifer just brings this down from like an 8 or a 9 down to a 5 because I just don't like what they did here. I don't like the setup. They teased that Jennifer could be like, When they did the season 5 trailer, I was thinking like, man, Jennifer, finally they're gonna get together. We're gonna see that relationship explored. No, we don't get to see that. They immediately break it off within one episode. It's done, and we barely. Well, at least we got to see them kiss. Well, there you go. But that's it, guys. I'm not quite happy about this episode. But that's it from me. Let me know your thoughts. These are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thumbs up, share the video, and subscribe. Why not? Hey. So that's it. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.